Welcome to today's Explainer, everyone. Okay, so today we are looking at one of the most consequential, absolutely high-stakes geopolitical standoffs of our modern era. The tension that's humming across the Taiwan Strait right now, it isn't just regional. It's a global friction point that literally dictates everything from international security to the very device you're using to listen to this right now. Today, we're breaking down a highly unique source text that analyzes this exact dynamic.
So who really controls the future? It's kind of the ultimate question, isn't it? When we look around at the modern world, what does true power actually look like? Is it physical territory? Is it economic wealth? Or is it something a lot smaller, something digital, something built on microscopic architecture? To really understand the geopolitical tension at the center of today's source material, we have to completely reevaluate how we measure dominance.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the Taiwan Strait frontline, or the global power pivot.
You see, the source material begins by entirely reframing how we view a specific piece of geography. The Taiwan Strait is often thought of simply as a narrow waterway separating landmasses, but we're told we have to look at it differently. Why? Because Taiwan's semiconductor industry literally powers the world. We're not just talking about laptops and smartphones here. Microchips are the foundational infrastructure of the modern era. They run our global financial networks, advanced medical equipment, automotive grids, and, crucially for this context, our military defense systems.
And that brings us to this incredibly heavy, stark reality presented in the text. Whoever controls it controls the future. I really want you to let that sink in for a second. This isn't hyperbole, folks. This is the absolute geopolitical reality facing the United States and China. This superpower rivalry isn't just about ideological influence anymore. It's a direct, high-stakes contest over the origin point of the world's most critical technological resource.
Moving right along to Section 2, Chips and Warships, analyzing the rivalry.
And this brilliantly illustrates how this rivalry actually materializes in the physical world. The source breaks down the naval power dynamic very, very clearly. On one side, you've got China's Navy, which boasts a quantitative advantage. They simply have more ships. But on the other side, the U.S. fleet is described as remaining entirely unmatched in both technology and global reach. So what we're looking at is a classic confrontation of sheer mass versus advanced capability.
But wait, the physical ships? They're really only half the story. The source states that the real contest moves far beyond traditional naval warfare. The true arenas of conflict are actually missiles, microchips, and total mastery of the digital battlefield. Modern warfare and geopolitical dominance are won in the digital realm. It's a contest of precision, data flow, and sheer processing speed.
Now, everything we've covered so far is this razor-sharp, super-grounded analysis of modern geopolitics, right? But this is where our explainer takes a massive pivot. As we examine the foundation of this analysis, we actually have to look closely at the source itself. We have to ask who is actually publishing this geopolitical assessment, because as we zoom out, we uncover a truly bizarre mystery.
Section 3, the publication mystery. BBBBB magazine.
So this highly serious breakdown of U.S.-China naval relations, it's hosted on a platform that also features a wish list, a gallery, and movies, right alongside its global power politics breakdowns. To understand its true nature, we have to look at its certifications. According to the text, the analysis we just read is certified by an entity known as the Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies IX. Yeah, we have moved entirely out of the realm of traditional international relations think tanks and stepped directly into what appears to be a deeply intricate, surreal alternate universe.
And the author behind this naval analysis? The credentials provided are just fascinating. The piece is architected by Dr. Melvin Sewell, M.Sc, Ph.D. He's listed not only as an academic dean and a diagnostic architect, but also as the CEO of True Flow Games. We're looking at this incredible, strange blend of geopolitical authority, entirely interwoven with intense sci-fi world-building and corporate game development.
Which brings us to Section 4, Sovereign Diagnostic Warnings, Decoding the Disclaimers.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that to understand what we're actually looking at, we have to dive below the surface and examine the site's intense, highly specific legal disclaimers. The platform wants to make it abundantly clear how you should be digesting their geopolitical content. The Sovereign Diagnostic Disclaimer explicitly states it is not affiliated with any government, political party, intelligence agency, or activist group. Instead, the material is authored as a sovereign broadcast, and its stated goal, to expose ritualized containment, actor convergence, and systemic erosion.
The terminology used here is absolutely critical to understanding the platform's overarching project.
The site defines its own content as mythic infrastructure and cinematic indictment. They utilize interpretations, glyphs, and collapse protocols as diagnostic tools. The site explicitly states these are not political endorsements or institutional critiques. We are treating these incredible, almost alternate reality game concepts with the exact academic seriousness the source demands because they're the very lens through which the geopolitical analysis was written.
All right, Section 5, the Echo Rift lore. Stepping through the rift.
Plunging into this final layer of our explainer, we have to look at the pure narrative lore that sits right next to and apparently informs the U.S.-China naval analysis. To show you just how deeply this world building goes, look at the title of the article published right before the analysis of Taiwan. It's titled, Living in Low Reality Levels, a Philosophical and Practical Critique. This perfectly showcases the site's totally unique, seamless blend of practical societal critique and philosophical, mind-bending sci-fi narrative.
And finally, the text leaves us with this dramatic, highly provocative line from what it calls Chapter 1, Origin. Psycho Venga emerges from the rift, born between slip flow and counterflow, marked by SH1 resonance. We started this explainer looking at the very real, very high stakes of microchips and warships in the Taiwan Strait, only to discover the entire analysis is housed within a complex diagnostic framework of rifts, glyphs, and reality levels. So I'll leave you with this to ponder. In a world increasingly dominated by the digital battlefield, where exactly does reality end and the echo rift begin?